One day, in a dark and abandoned mansion where no one dared to even approach, something terrible happened. A group of friends, fascinated by the paranormal, decided to spend the night in this gloomy place to unravel its secrets. Upon arriving at the mansion, they felt an unpleasant presence, as if the souls of the dead were haunting them. But curiosity and a thirst for adventure overcame fear, and they decided to explore each room. As they moved deeper into the mansion, they began to hear rustling and ghostly footsteps that followed them. Soon, the friends realized that they were not alone in this gloomy place. In one of the rooms, they found an antique mirror that seemed to attract them into its depths. They couldn't resist its magical power and decided to look into it. When they approached the mirror, they saw their reflections, but something was wrong. Their faces distorted, becoming more and more terrifying. They tried to turn away, but it was too late. The mirror swallowed up their souls, leaving only empty shells. The rest of the friends, frightened by the horrific fate of their comrades, tried to get out of the mansion, but the doors and windows closed in front of them, preventing them from leaving this cursed place. More and more ghosts began to appear, surrounding them from all sides. They could hear their shrill screams and moans that penetrated to the very depths of their souls. Fear gripped them, and they realized that they were victims of this sinister mansion. They ran through the corridors, trying to find a way out, but each turn led them to new horrors. They saw ghosts slowly approaching them, their faces contorted with pain and rage. Finally, they found themselves in the basement, where they found an old diary telling how the owner of the mansion was a Satanist and conducted sinister rituals. They realized that the souls of the dead were tied to this place, and only their death could free them from this curse. They decided to sacrifice their lives to free the souls of the dead. In the last room, they found an altar, where they began to perform the ritual. They sacrificed their own lives, hoping that this would end the suffering of the souls of the dead and allow them to find peace. They closed their eyes and began to recite the spell that was written in the diary. A strange glow began around them, and the air was filled with energy and tension. They could feel the forces of evil gathering around them, but they couldn't stop. Suddenly, there was a loud explosion in the room, and everything went dark. When the friends opened their eyes, they found that they were in another world. They found themselves in the world of the souls of the dead, who thanked them for their sacrifice. The souls of the dead told them that they were now free and could find peace. They thanked their friends for their courage and bravery, and told them that they would always remember their kindness. Friends who have experienced the horrors of this gloomy mansion have realized that it is never worth playing with forces that cannot be understood or controlled. They vowed never to come into contact with the paranormal again and to leave this world of the dead alone. They returned to the real world, but since then they have never forgotten the lesson that this terrible experience gave them. They began to warn others against exploring dark and dangerous places, and to tell their story to warn others against similar mistakes. That's how their story ended, and they were left with the memory of how they were able to overcome their fears and do something good for others. They realized that even in the darkest places there is hope and opportunity to find light and peace.